Going through this awakening process, what you'll notice is your life is going off script more and more. That you are going off script more and more. And your life feels more like improv. You're not trying to control the movie anymore. That you're not so concerned about the script or the scenes that are upcoming. But instead, life is spontaneous. It's this spontaneous flow, which I'm using in this example, is improv. That just things are simply arising. And it's this freedom of flow that is where the creativity is. The creativity is this moment. This moment is brand new. The spontaneous flow is arising in this moment. And by being present to this moment, your life feels more like an improv instead of following the script of the mind. That in this moment, it feels like there's just no mind that you're consulting with. You're not consulting with your past and trying to use that past and then create the future. There is no past, there is no future. There's just this freedom of flow. There's just the creativity of this moment. And this is very freeing when you're used to going by the script. It's as if you are so used to using the script, and then it's kind of like one day you just... Now, it might not happen just like that altogether. It might just feel like you start getting comfortable going off script. So then you start kind of working some improv, not knowing exactly what the future scene is going to look like. Let's just see as it's more of like you're just getting plopped into the scene, and then there's improv. Just the same way it's kind of done probably when improv is happening, or those kind of shows like Whose Line Is It Anyways? Set up the scene and go, right? It's like that. Life is just unfolding and go. Whatever needs to be done in this moment is done. And there's no thinking about it. It's just simply arising. There's no thought about the action. There's just the action that's happening. And this seems to be this transition as going through this awakening process. It's just happening more and more. You just start noticing that you're getting comfortable with the unknown, or you're getting good at going off script. You feel like you don't need to know the next scene. So life is this movie where you're just actually improving. And you're feeling this freedom because being limited to the script was so constricted, so confined. It was limited. But now this freedom to express, this freedom that is here in this moment, this is what you've actually always wanted. The freedom to be yourself. Where you're able to simply act based off of this moment, not the past. And you're acting based off of this moment and not off of this future that you're concerned with. So there's no concern for the past, there's no concern for the futures, there's just this undivided attention to this moment. And everything is just this free flow. The spontaneity of living is right here in this moment. And it's this free flow that's actually effortless. It may appear that there's a great deal of effort that is happening. But when you experience what I'm talking about, you realize that it's actually effortless. That the source of life is right here, right now. It's this moment. So it feels like you're plugged in all the time. And you can't run out. You can't run out of energy. This free flow, this spontaneous flow that's always new. It's always creative. It just feels so limitless. You can't run out of it. It may look like there's a lot of effort, but it's effortless. It may look like you're doing something difficult that requires great skill, but there's so much ease and grace in the actions. It feels like you're tireless. You don't get tired. Everything is easy because of the ease. You're no longer resisting anything. There's no stress. There's simply just this free flow. The flow that's totally free. The freedom to flow. And your life starts becoming more and more of that. So at the start of this awakening process, you just start noticing that you start going off script a little bit more. And you get comfortable with just being this open emptiness, this state of not knowing what's going to happen next, not concerned with the past, not concerned with the future. And it's from that openness, it's from that emptiness, that is actually the source of life. That everything is arising out of that openness. Everything is arising out of that emptiness. There's a stillness, there's a silence, that all the activities are arising out of the stillness. All of the sounds are arising out of the silence. And that all of the actions that the body is doing is actually just an expression of that, without any filter. The filter is the mind, and the mind is always trying to suppress that flow. It's always trying to resist that flow. So prior, there was just a little bit of the flow. Just a little bit here, just a little bit there. And then you start noticing that you start going off script. So there's a little bit more flow. You really start going off script. There's even more flow. Then one day you throw that script away, and there's just the flow. And then you realize that it's like the mind was like this beaver dam that was just resisting the flow of the river. And without that beaver dam, it's just all there is flow. All there is creativity. Everything is brand new. Everything is fresh. There's no concern with a past or a future. It doesn't exist. All there is now. Is this present moment. Whatever's arising in this present moment, whatever actions happen, they couldn't be any other way. You're not second guessing your actions. You're not trying to plan your actions. You're not dwelling over the actions going, oh, I wish I didn't do that. How am I going to do something different next time? It's just the total acceptance of this moment and the total acceptance of whatever actions happen in this moment. It can't be any other way. And not being concerned with a future, there's zero pressure. There's zero pressure. The pressure is always coming from trying to become something. Becoming is always about the future. The pressure is always about trying to get things right. The pressure is always about trying to force things into how you imagine them to be or how you think they should be. The pressure is always coming from how you're trying to force this moment into your box. But you don't have a box anymore. You're not trying to resist the flow of life. So without that resistance, you're not experiencing any stress. Without that resistance, you're not feeling any pressure, or you're trying to hold back the flow of life. There's just simply the flow, and you are that. What do people say? Become one with. You become one with the flow. There's only the flow. There's not even you that's becoming one with it. There's just the flow of life. Hopefully this helps. I'll see you in the next one.